very good. Okay, very good.
Hello, Barstool Radio, and welcome back to another hour of Hard Factor Radio presented by the Barstool News Network. I'm Will. We have Wes and Mark. Also here we have a commute podcast called Hard Factor News on iTunes and Spotify. Get it wherever podcasts are free. It is a separate hour from this radio hour we're doing Monday through Friday right now.
It's a steal. It comes in at the price of also free.
Exactly. 2 free shows. So you can't beat that. Boys, how you feeling today?
Pretty good. We were talking before we came on air. I saw a picture of Cameron Diaz. Didn't realize where the time went.
Yeah, Wes is feeling old because Cameron Diaz is looking old.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, when's the last movie you saw her in actually that you watched?
I don't have any idea, honestly. I just remember I just have much fonder memories than of the picture I just saw.
Because all the movies I know her from are at least 2 decades ago, pretty much.
Yeah, Wes, you should have known. Cruel Hollywood cast her away long ago because she was not young enough anymore.
Are you just thinking like you just saw something about Mary like last year?
Yes.
Your brain just feels like that was recent?
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Wes thinks he's 18 years old.
Mentally, I am, for sure.
He never grows up.
It tricks me sometimes.
Yeah, I'm looking at these pictures of her on Google image search, and it didn't sneak up on any of us. I mean, she's just been aging at a regular pace, and it's just you hadn't seen her in several years, I think.
Yeah, it's also. I mean, I know she looks better than that picture, but it was. She's 48, which I've just golly. Just shocking.
Yeah, but what's the British lady? She's like 52, and Elizabeth Hurley is just...
Oh, but Elizabeth Hurley is still real hot.
That's what I'm saying. She's real hot.
Yeah, she is.
And she's in her 50s.
Elizabeth
All right,
Hurley.
I mean, do you remember watching her in The Green Hornet? I don't even remember that, but she was in
Is that with Seth Rogen? I mean, that movie's trash.
Oh, God, that movie is awful.
I don't even remember in it. I'm trying to go back to... I mean, she was in a lot of Shreks, all the Shreks, but that was
Can't see her
not on screen.
I rewatch the Shreks almost at least once a year high. Go through all the Shreks.
Well, the Shreks are great. Yeah. I nailed it. I was saying before the show, the last movie I remember her in was The Holiday, and 2006, The Holiday was probably her last big box office smash. Like besides the Shreks, like everything else has been you probably haven't seen it.
Wasn't it like a thing where she voluntarily left Hollywood to just either concentrate on being like a mother or just to like philanthropic word? Yeah.
I think a lot of women voluntarily leave Hollywood at the age of like 30.
Yeah.
I think that's like you can quit or we'll fire you type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of jobs offered to women.
Right. Also, after you've done Vanilla
30,
Sky, 40. Minority Report, and all the Shreks, you probably don't need to work too much anymore.
No, right? she had a superstar career.
Yeah, and also obviously something about Mary, Meet the Fockers, all that shit. And The Mask. Who could forget her original?
Oh,
94.
The Mask is fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, but you just basically haven't seen her since 2006, so in your brain, you're like, I saw her yesterday, but actually you saw her 15 years ago.
Right.
And
that's exactly
what this means. You just had a good time back in that 90s and early 2000s era. So you're remembering good times, and Cameron Diaz was looking good, and now you realize you're older and she's looking bad, and it's making you sad.
Yeah. It did make me sad.
Yeah.
It made me.
Time goes on.
Her net worth is $140 million. She definitely does not have to work anymore.
Holy moly!
No, she should use some of that to. No, I won't. I'm not going to look shame. She looks great for 40 years. She doesn't need to do any Botox or anything or no facelifts. She looks great. She looks great for 48.
Speaking of The Mask,
take it back.
Speaking of The Mask, Halloween is 2 days away. Have you guys prepared for Halloween at your homes? Have you? Have you COVID prepared?
Yeah. Do you see this?
That's a Trump mask. YouTube.com/HardFactorNews. If you want to watch us do the show. So you're gonna scare the kids as Trump at the door, Mark?
I'm gonna be Trump from now until whenever the election's over.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I'm gonna just walk around the house as Trump. I'm gonna open the door to the kid. I'm gonna get the mail as Trump. I'm definitely answering the door for the kids as Trump.
You go in suit too?
Most of the live stream, yeah, sure.
Nice.
Sometimes most of the live stream, I'm gonna be Trump. Yeah.
Nice.
It's awesome.
I like it. Have you? But what my question is, have you COVID prepped your? I mean, you can't just hand out candy with your bare hands like you used to.
I'm probably just gonna bucket it up. I bought the candy.
Okay, so you in our neighborhood, what I've seen is that you have to like prepare it in a way that the kids can take like one thing each, and like we bagged up all of our candies into like 4 pieces per bag, like a shitload of bags, so you could space them out like on a table, and that's the only way I think that they're allowing us to do because of COVID or whatever in our neighborhood. Yeah. Well, so have you guys done? It was a huge pain in the ass. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I haven't bagged up the candy yet. Will no.
I mean, what's the plans? You guys got plans? You just gonna have all your kids catch COVID, or you gonna?
No, the best thing.
Do something.
I'm not telling them to trick or treat. They're doing it themselves.
Yeah. The best way to do Halloween anyway is if you live in a decent neighborhood is to just get with your neighbors and sit on your driveway and have some drinks, whatever.
You can't
have
do
a barbecue.
that this year. It's COVID, dude.
You can't sit on your own fucking driveway and put it like a bucket at the end of it and say, "Hey, take one."
Well, because the whole point is you're not supposed to be like in breathing distance of all the fucking kids that you're giving the candy to this year.
You're not going to be. You'll be more than 6 feet away for sure.
Well, if I dress up as Trump, though, then everyone knows that at my house there is no social distancing.
It's true. No masks required.
Yeah.
So you throw a party in your front yard. But
you have like
you
and your wife or whoever you're with. You sit on some lawn chairs. You maybe dress up, have a little whatever. This is something that happens in neighborhoods. At least one I took my son to last Halloween, because we do our neighborhood isn't nice enough to trick or treat, and we go to like a nicer neighborhood because there's better shit there, and his friends live there.
You're saying the homeowners sit in the lawn and stare at the kids?
They like. Sometimes they'll just
Sounds not creepy at all.
Sit on like a lawn. Well, I mean, it's like the same thing.
Did you get the app to see how many sex offenders were in this neighborhood?
No, you can tell they're not.
They bought houses there. That's
lighting up like a Christmas tree.
The kids are too covered up. Unless they all go as cuties this year, they're not gonna be in luck.
It's such a friendly neighborhood. They're all outside.
So they're sitting outside. They're waiting for you to walk up, and then they hand you the candy from their chairs.
Yes, that's usually what happens. But now you can just extend the bucket a little bit further away.
Well,
and say, hey.
Now you're not allowed to be. You're like that's what I'm saying. You can't hand it to anybody.
Okay.
You can't.
Well, can't you do the bucket? Please take one, and then use.
Yeah, you think somebody's gonna please take one?
Oh, I don't
Your
care
ass
if they
is
take
6
more.
feet away. They're taking 50.
Fine.
Then you're out of candy.
You got eyes
then
on
I'm
them,
out of candy. I don't want any leftovers. I have like 300 pieces of candy, and I don't want a single piece.
How many candy bags you go?
Like 3 of the large variety bags.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went like 5 of those bad boys.
Ooh,
what do you guys go with?
I think you're overestimating the amount of people that are going to be trick-or-treating to begin with.
Well, our neighborhood has lots of decorations up, so I think all the kids in this neighborhood are trick-or-treating.
People are really trying to grasp at anything. My neighborhood has a ton of decorations up this year.
Yeah.
What do you guys go with for your what was your what was the big score for you guys?
Full size, anything.
Well, full size. Okay, yeah.
Twix is my favorite candy bar.
Oh, like when you were trick-or-treating, like what would you get? I'm big time.
Well, now what do you buy? Like what's your handout?
The hits. Three Musketeers, Milky Way, Snickers, Twix, Reese's, Peanut Butter Cups, Kit Kat. It comes in the fucking variety pack. It's like the
all
Three Musketeers,
nougat?
Snickers.
100% nougat.
All nougat.
Well, the other things in the variety pack are Snickers, Milky Way, and Twix, which are all very good. I agree that Three Musketeers should go, but that is part of the classic variety pack. Wow.
I found the variety pack that was
a whole nougat.
That was Starburst, Snickers, Twix, and M&Ms, and so that's the one I went with. All
M&Ms. That's the fucking worst shit you can get.
M&M's the worst?
Yeah.
No way.
M&M's.
M&M's is a lot of people's favorite.
What is M&M's doing in that? That's an oddball pack.
Why is that an oddball pack?
It's all like fruit. It's all like fruit stuff. Skittles and Starburst, and then M&M's.
No. Snickers, Twix, Starburst, and M&M's. So it's mostly chocolate with a little bit of fruit.
That's a pretty good one.
That's a great bag.
That's a pretty good bag.
M&M's, by the way, must be the most expensive because they give you by far the least M&M's.
It's because they're the shittiest.
Well, yeah, I mean, unless they're like peanut butter. Regular M&Ms suck.
Regular M&Ms are the most overrated candy of all. I don't know
kidding?
how they're in business.
No one likes regular M&Ms.
So many people love M&Ms.
I mean, they're tricking
Weirdos.
themselves. Yeah, they don't really love them. They're just like they stomach them is what I would say.
I feel like that's taking a shit on Hershey's Kisses, and there's a lot of Kiss.
Whoa, well, yeah,
Kisses are way better than M&Ms.
While we're at
You're
it,
saying
let's take
Hershey's
a shit-
Kisses is better than M&Ms?
No.
Yes, I think so.
They're
Wow.
equal. They're equally
That's
bland.
a statement. That's a statement. What do you think of a Hershey's bar? You think that's better than M&Ms?
No.
Like the little
also
rectangles
bland.
of Hershey's?
I think a Hershey's bar is better than an M&M.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh man, that's some bland ass chocolate, dude.
If
yeah, go ahead, Bud.
I was going to ask if you guys are trick or treating in 2020, like take yourself back to your little self. If you're trick or treating in 2020 and there's a bowl of just take one, what's your go-to? Like, what are you taking every time?
Twix.
Big a handful as I can and
Yeah,
running
usually
away.
I usually take more than one.
I'm
Probably
going
10.
Skittles.
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 What about you, Bubba?
I would always take the Whopper packs. I don't know why, but I just never.
Whoppers?
Yeah, dude. They're just
Bubba, get out of here.
Get out of here.
Okay.
I don't even know what.
We got Three Musketeers.
I don't even know what that is.
100% nougat. Now we talk about malted milk balls.
Will,
Like
I didn't say that I liked Three Musketeers. It was part of the fucking
Look,
the pack.
we got problems here. If we're talking about nougat and malted milk balls as our favorite.
Well, I would eat a Three Musketeers over a regular fun-size pack of M&Ms. Of regular M&Ms.
100%.
Yeah.
Throw it in the freezer. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Three Musketeer. What do you have?
Milky
What
Way's
do you,
way better.
hold on. What do you? What was that? Whoppers? What do you have? Whoppers or
I don't know what that
M&Ms?
is. I don't know what a Whopper is.
It's like the crunchy. It's like a sweet crouton covered in chocolate. It's
Bubba, what is it?
It's pretty much that. It's. I think it's just like I honestly have no idea what it's. It's very arid on the inside. And it's just covered in chocolate. But
It's like a
I
Rice
grew up-
Crisp.
Yeah,
Right.
it pretty much. I grew up with candy jars all over my house, and Whoppers were never in them. So I feel like I just kind of always hunted out the illustrious
I'll
one
give
or
you
the one that I
Whoppers
couldn't
taste
get.
pretty good,
Elusive one. Sorry.
Malted milk balls.
Yeah.
Oh.
You get like 3 of them in the.
Yeah, there's a little sleeve, or you can get like the big carton.
Guess who produces Whoppers?
Mars.
M&M's.
Someone that's not in business anymore.
Hershey.
Hershey. Yeah.
Hershey.
Come on.
Bland ass Hershey.
Big Hershey. Yeah, not surprising, honestly. That's like not a big step up from the Hershey bar Wes was talking about. But seriously, guys, what's the real candy that you go for? What
Skittles. Skittles.
Skittles, that's a good one.
Twix.
Skittles is up
100
there.
out of 100 times Twix.
Twix
Shove-
is a top shelf. Twix is a top shelf for sure.
You guys
I'm
are
a
chocolate
Snickers.
guys.
I'm
You
a
guys are
Snickers
chocolate
guy.
guys. I'm like a sour, like fruity, chewy candy guy, like Sour Patch Kids, Starburst, Skittles.
Oh, Sour Patch Kids could trump everything. It just depends. Also, Swedish Fish really high up there for me too. But you don't see Sour Patch Kids and Swedish Fish at every. I hand out Sour Patch Kids. That was the other 2 bags. So I got the one that had the Twix, the 3 chocolates and the Starburst, and then the other bags we got had Sour Patch Kids and more fruity shit. So
I didn't know we were getting like niche with like the sour gummy worms. If you want to go technical, yeah. I mean,
sour
they're
gummy
pretty up
worms.
there.
What do you mean
I mean,
niche? Sour
well-
Patch Kids aren't niche.
yeah. You're just bringing up like a
Starburst
bunch of
and
bunch
Skittles?
of gummy stuff.
No, I said
Bunch of gummy
Starburst.
stuff.
I said Starburst, Skittles. Will brought up Swedish Fish.
those are for. I mean, I think that you have to probably go if you're gonna have categories because you can't have. Are you an only chocolate guy? I feel like everybody needs to mix it up a little bit.
No,
a
I
little
like
bit
Star-
of fruity,
I like
a little bit of
Starburst.
chocolate.
I like Starburst. I'm not a big Skittles guy. Skittles are gross.
You're like
Wow.
you think they're M&Ms of fruit.
It just reminds me of going to the pool as a kid and drinking a Sprite and Skittles and just getting on a sugar high.
Oh
and just
God, what a delightful combination.
yeah, Skittles and Sprite's classic, but it just is not for adults.
Okay,
Yeah,
but you can still handle a Starburst at this age.
but yeah, and I'll put Starburst together. You got to get 2 different you got a yellow and a pink, or an orange and a pink. You squish 2 Starbursts together. That's when they taste pretty good.
Yellow and pink is a good combo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so I got you. Well, just so to prepare you guys, if you are going to give out the candies, I think you have to like somehow have some sort of scheme where you're not like
I don't really
on the kid
I don't
when
really
you
give
hand
a
it to him.
fuck. I'm gonna be getting drunk inside my house with the door shut, and if people like, there's gonna be a bowl out there. I bought 17 pumpkins, so everyone knows I'm into the Halloween. There's gonna be a bowl of candy. If people get sick out front of my house because they are all touching the same area and don't know how to social distance, that's on them. I don't care.
All right.
But you
Fair
are going to
enough.
pass them out, the candy.
Fuck no. I'm not gonna pass
No,
them
you
out.
can't. That's Wes. That's
Well,
the
then
point.
what's
You
the
can't-
point of doing
you
this
can't pass
shit?
it out.
So
You're
the
not
kids
allowed
can
to
eat the
be-
fucking candy. I'm not opening the door and asking them like, "Oh, what are you, a little princess? What are you, a ghost?"
And
No.
you can't touch them or breathe on them.
I'm not
So
opening
what's
the
the point
door.
of being
Yeah.
there? Yeah.
Put like 50 cents, they can go get their own candy.
Well, what are you gonna do? Look, what I have luckily is a window right next to the door, so we'll just like wave at people as they go pick up shit from right outside the door. But they could see us inside the house or whatever. But I mean, for most people, they're probably just gonna do what Mark's doing, which is just put a bucket out there and then walk away.
Yeah, with like a sign saying like, "Happy Halloween."
Gotcha.
Right. Because you can't be out. You can't be literally the worst thing you could do would be stand out there and like high five every kid. Because I think
Right.
that's exactly what they don't want you to do.
Right.
The
Right,
kids
'cause
don't
then
want that either. They just want the fucking candy.
Yeah, that's all they want.
I guess part of it's saying trick or treat. You can shout it through the door.
Yeah.
Trick-
Well,
Big part of it. Big part
Trick
of it.
or treat, and then you're like, "Oh, your outfit's so great!" Like that's a big part of it.
So you're
Right,
telling
right.
me the kids will be disappointed, Wes, if they don't get to yell at adults through the door when
No,
they
the
pick up
the
their
adults
candy?
will be the adults are going to be more disappointed. They don't get to see their cute little kids go up and say trick or treat. Like that's more
Yeah.
for adults. I feel like.
Yeah, the kids aren't going to give a fuck. They're just going to grab the candy and go.
Right. And once you reach like 9, 10, then you're just grabbing handfuls. Like it's just a cool to be out at like dark with your boys. Like that's all.
Well,
it's about.
I remember as a kid, like young kid, it was fun to like ring the doorbell, and then when someone opened, a lot of times they were in an adult outfit, so that was fun, and you did trick or treat. But once you get like older, like you said, like 10 through 13, ringing the doorbell becomes a chore. You just want the fucking candy, right?
You're
Like,
right. I probably went trick or treating one Halloween too many. Like I was a little too old, and I was with PFT and the drummer. We were in the band, and we were all like in a band, and we went as Kiss, and probably a little too into it. And I think that was like all of us at the same time. Like we probably got so much candy because we were like old enough to really run fast throughout the neighborhood and like carry a big bag. But like I think at the end of the night, we all kind of realized like, all right, this is probably the last hurrah. We're not gonna dress up as like a fantasy rock band and be goofy to parents who open the door anymore after this year. It's over after this.
Now,
In
you
my
go
neighborhood,
get
they'll
drunk
tell you.
instead.
In my neighborhood, they tell you like you're getting too old. They're like,
Yeah.
hey, Mark.
We may have
Borg-
got a couple of those comments.
Hey, Mark Borgie, we know you. You've lived in this neighborhood for 15 years, and you're in 8th grade now.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you're not even wearing an outfit.
Right.
Could you want to knock it off? Like,
Yeah.
like basically that's how it went.
Pretty sure when we were kids,
In my
they were like,
neighborhood.
"Aren't you guys in high school yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You three?"
I teach you in 8th grade. Can you knock it off?
Right. Once you look like you can beat up the husband, it's time to hang it up. We one time in my neighborhood, we were getting to that age where it's, too old, but we came up with this brilliant scam because we wanted more candy. So we made up this bullshit, me and some friends, that one of our brothers had gotten grounded for Halloween, and so we went out the next day and knocked on people's doors and with this story that, hey, my brother got grounded for Halloween. He didn't get any candy. Do you happen to have any extra left over? And cleaned up.
Boy,
'Cause,
did
of course,
they.
lots of people, had leftover shit. They didn't want in their house because they're whatever, they're trying to lose weight or whatever. And it was like a whole nother trick or treat. Not quite as much, obviously, but yeah, it worked like a charm.
I feel like the missing friend thing is something I have done at least one Halloween as well. It's good for an automatic extra scoop of candy in your.
We went the next day though. We went.
Oh, the next day.
We
Yeah.
went the day after Halloween and knocked on
next
doors.
Because people
Was
don't
that a
want candy in
weekend?
their
Did it
house.
fall on a weekend or something?
I don't
or did
remember
you-
what day it was, but it was. We were not in costume though. It was just like,
Oh,
hey,
It was a shakedown. How old were you guys?
It was a shakedown. We were probably like 11.
That's a good idea though.
Old enough to drive and buy your own candy?
Right.
not quite, but
Not right. Not he was at that tweener age. That's what I was
Yeah.
talking about. That's when you get. That's your prime candy earning years. Is like that
like a
10
robbery.
to 12 window.
Yeah.
Is you're gonna be so good
was
at
weird.
trick or treating. Yeah, and you'll get a ton of candy, but also then parents are like, "All right, I'm sick of you. Get out of here."
Right.
People are like shutting the door. Like, I don't know if that was a gang or what. What was that?
Yeah.
Did we
Haven't I
just
seen
get
you
robbed?
guys tonight already? Yeah. Like, yeah, but you're giving out the best candy, so here we are again.
Yeah, here we are just begging you to give us all the rest of it.
As I got started too old, it was a pillowcase instead of a
pillowcase, of course.
And then it was a sprint from neighborhood to neighborhood. It was just an all out, like, it was essentially like flashlight tag, but just going to as many doors as you could to collect candy. And then it was a scene. That's like when it was becoming like just ridiculous.
Yeah, and you trade it when you get home with your boys. It's amazing.
As soon as trick or treating sucks because as soon as you get really good at it, really efficient at it, you're too old and it's too weird for you to trick or treat anymore.
Do you guys ever get weird stuff? Like there's always the one Jesus lady that would leave a note saying like Jesus saves.
Dude,
my parents made me throw that candy out.
Orthodontist.
Yeah.
Lived in the neighborhood. Just only ever gave you toothbrush.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Well,
Oh yeah. That's only ever a toothbrush from that guy.
I'm like, Mom, why do I have to throw out the Jesus lady's candy? Isn't she nice? And she's like, sure, throw that fucking thing out. She's poisoning you with Christ.
They wrapped it themselves.
Yeah, home wrapped
with the page of.
Like, Mom, what do you think? You think they have a factory sealing thing at their house? It seems like this bar is sealed.
We used to have like there was like a parade, like the neighborhood parade to kick off Halloween, and it was like a big gathering. And at least 2 years, I ruined the Halloween for myself by eating chili dogs at this gathering before Halloween, and I always gave myself the shits. Like at least 2 years, I got the
2 years in a row.
2 years.
You ate chili dogs before a Halloween party.
Yep.
And it ruined the same Halloween party.
I swear
twice
to God.
with the same problem.
You
swear to God.
learn your lesson.
I didn't learn my lesson. No, didn't learn my lesson.
Oh my God! Wes
again,
is up to the chili dogs again.
Age for the first and second year of chili dogs.
That was probably like 7 and 8.
Oh, 7.
Yeah.
that was when they had to do the next day scheme.
Yeah, that was a little. The next day scheme was a little later.
So the parents the next year
shits.
were like, "Oh, it's Wes again." Yeah,
Right.
Wes, we know you got it. Yep, buddy, you need the bathroom.
Gotta go home, guys.
He's picking at his butt.
Oh yeah, gotta go home, guys. Yeah, stupid.
How do you remember chili dog accidents from 7 and 8? That's
Traumatizing. That's a trauma.
with you.
Yeah.
It was a big. I mean, Halloween is. I mean, Halloween's. I used to take it a lot more seriously than I do. Like I used to always have like the best costume for a kid in the neighborhood at all the time.
Oh, really? What was your best one?
I mean, I dressed up as a baby one time, which was a huge hit. I dressed up as
Baby Wes does
there's
make
the
sense.
fat baby.
What was the baby outfit? What'd you have?
Oh, it was like a I had like one of those like bonnet like baby things. I had a pacifier. I'm sure I gotta find a picture of it.
Did you have like a giant
now,
milk thing? Like a giant.
Yeah, I think I had a milk.
bottle.
I had I had just a diaper. I'll get a picture of it. I did.
You would be
Halloween
good
up.
baby now. I remember
Yeah.
when you went full Bic on your head. You could definitely pull off the baby stuff.
Adult baby in costume is always funny.
Yeah, I dressed up as a naughty nurse one time for Halloween. That was fucking ridiculous. That was when I was
Risque.
older though. It was a little too much.
Wow.
But,
yeah. So
chances out
that's traumatizing. You took yourself out of 2 prime Halloweens with the runs.
Yep, I did. I did. Right.
You didn't learn your lesson. So you not only love Halloween, but you clearly love chili dogs.
I love chili dogs.
Do you still eat chili dogs today, even after all that trauma?
Of course, I eat chili dogs. Every chance I get.
Wow. All right. Well, I mean, it seems like you definitely didn't learn your lesson from that. It was more like chili dogs were worth it to ruin Halloween.
My young digestive system couldn't handle the 2 chili dogs that I pounded before it running around and jumbling it in my stomach.
Who was making the chili dogs? The parade?
It was like a neighborhood potluck that we did in like the cul-de-sac.
Yeah, what happened the 3rd year? Did you finally wise up, or did your parents steer you away from the chili dogs?
I don't remember. I think it just I think I finally did wise up actually. Yeah. Or the person that made the tainted chili moved out of the neighborhood.
You, Wes. It's like
How many
witch.
lifetime chili dogs are we talking, Wes?
Oh man, I don't know. My mom makes this. It's like a Texas chili dog, but it's like a sweet chili.
Oh wow!
It's one of the it's one of my
a frequent dish.
Oh, it's one of my all-time favorite things in the world that my mom makes. It's fucking amazing.
You probably have more chili dogs than like nearly anybody, because I don't think chili dogs is like a super common one out there.
I mean, it depends on where you live. Like there's like Pennsylvania, they're big on chili dogs. Like Cincinnati, like
Have you ever judged a chili dog eating contest?
No, but I would love to.
You sound like one of those guys.
I've been to the world chili cook-off for my job one time.
Do they have a chili dog? Yeah,
it was just the world. It was the world chili cook-offs. I think they had chili dogs there, but it was mainly like really like the essence of chili that they were judging.
How insulted are those guys to not win?
What's that?
Very.
Like, yeah, if you're a person that competes in that event and you're expecting to win.
Yeah, it was like a $20,000 first prize. The people took it real.
Well,
serious.
now I just want to eat chili dogs and Halloween candy. So let's talk about something else. This is a lot.
Well, you guys want to take a break?
We're all going to gain weight tonight if we just keep talking.
Yeah, let's take a break and come back.
Cool.
All right, we're back. We're the Hard Factor News team. We have a daily podcast Monday through Friday. It comes out real early. I think on Pacific time it's out even before the morning, but it's like 1 a.m. midnight-ish every morning, and we'll give you the news. So what you're going to do is you're going to wake up, you're going to listen to the podcast. It's like a commute podcast. It's like 40 minutes, and you're going to hear everything you need to know to talk about in the news for that day. And then you rinse and repeat, so you always know in the morning what to talk about that day to sound slightly informed. So that's the whole goal. Give you a few laughs in there. And that's it. So download.
We're
usually way ahead of like mainstream media too. Like
that's because we're willing to do any story without really fact checking it.
Correct. So, we claim about 80% accuracy. We're in the 80 range. And if we completely jump the gun and fuck up, all we have to do is just correct it the next day. We don't care.
Our rule is that if it's on the internet, it's fair game to at least discuss. It could be wildly wrong, and then we'll try to correct it a couple days later.
We have Fact Check Friday. We'll admit our mistakes, but we take the information that we receive, and then we give it to you in a joking manner. And if we make a mistake, we're not scared to do it. You know what I mean? So go check it out. That's the whole pitch. Is that now what do we do?
Speaking of news, I think we got news stories. Right?
Okay. Give them a little sample.
Yeah, you want me to kick it off?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see if I can find it. Okay, yeah. So the reason I'm going to cover this story is because this guy in North Carolina, he's a metal detector. They call them metal detectorists. If you're in the community,
or whack jobs.
Yeah, his name is Shane Houston, of Charlotte, North Carolina. He was doing a little metal detecting outside of a church. Actually, this is in Maine. He's from North Carolina. And he found this copper penny from 1798. It's like the first decade that money was being made in America. But, his find wasn't that big. He's going to sell the coin for like $200. But it got me on this, metal detecting thing. And I'm you guys know I love anything where I can make where money comes, just in a windfall, right? Mm-hmm. That's my dream.
This is your thing.
I love talking about just ways that you made money overnight. And
I can't believe reason you haven't moved to Nevada because you have a son in Texas. Because it seems like you are just waiting to move to Nevada eventually.
I am stuck here. That is for sure. Until for another 6 years at least.
Right. If you weren't taking your son to school in Texas, I feel like you would have already been mining for gold out west.
Well, I can't believe you haven't figured out the few spots in Central Texas to mine for gold, or I can't believe you're not a metal detectorist right now.
Sure. News. I'm buying a metal detector.
Yeah.
Okay.
Shocker.
Yeah.
It's so common.
Get it for yourself. Treat yourself.
I am. It's my new hobby.
Yeah, the reason I was saying Nevada, it's so common out here. So prospecting is probably the biggest industry in where I live, Northern Nevada, mining, and it's so common out here for hobbyist miners that lots of people are just rolling out at the parks all the time. Like I'm talking multiple people, every park. All the time,
and they're all claiming they found the biggest discovery. Like a year ago, Will's like, my buddy found a $2 billion mountain of gold.
He does have a good dig site, but it turned out that it was too hard to extract. There is some gold in it. There's gold everywhere.
Didn't work out.
It didn't work out. The way that the ground works though is that there's like trace amounts of elements all over the place. So this guy found one where it was too hard to get the gold out of the rocks. It would have been too labor intensive.
It's always something.
That's not what I want to do.
Yeah, it's always you almost worked out.
Wes wants to be one of those guys that like hopefully finds a wedding ring one day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I want to be the wedding
or
ring
that guy's treasure in Colorado that 3 people died finding. The guy that buried a treasure chest.
Yeah, that would have been awesome too. Yeah, I don't want to go pan for gold. I want to find a giant nugget one time and then call it a day.
Well, what do you think the ideal location to do that is? A beach,
England.
you think?
No,
England.
Well, first of all, from what I'm reading and we're doing research in this story, you got to go to England. That's where
antiques. Anything older, Europe's going to be better. Yeah.
There's just because the gold that the people used to wear back in the day over in Europe is just so extravagant, and it's like
a lot of money. It's old money in England.
Oh, dude, some of these finds that I'm looking up, like millions of dollars of like old, like because like old coins, like the coins you find over here, nowhere near as old as the ones.
Well, where are you going out to? Like the Scottish Highlands? Like
exactly.
Where are you go?
Yeah, you're going in like where like. Kings used to live and shit.
Yeah, castles. Go to Wales.
Yeah, go to Wales. Anywhere in the UK is good. Spain is good. If you want to go, like, the people have found this shit underwater. The point is,
you've done serious research on this.
Well, I did it for the story, but also I have. Metal detectors
clearly have been planning this for a little bit.
Metal detectors have always been on, in the back of my mind.
They've been on your radar for a while.
They've been on my radar for a while.
You have a book about this, don't you?
No, how long have you been planning to buy a metal detector? And when you saw the story, did you realize this was the catalyst that was going to allow you to buy a metal detector?
I did realize that this was the catalyst pretty soon.
When you volunteered to do the story, that was the catalyst.
Yeah.
Hey, who's your favorite detectorist?
I have no idea.
Try to catch you.
But I knew I wanted to get a metal detector on the beach. When you see those guys on the beach and they're reaching down picking up coins on the beach, that's so intriguing. But anyway,
you look at that and you see, man, that's intriguing, and that's
not me.
I want to do.
It's not.
I think it's interesting.
Yeah, I think with this poor bastard.
Totally different experience. Yeah, watching somebody with a metal detector.
I think, how did that homeless guy get a metal detector?
Well, it's usually an old guy just out there,
It's always somebody who's metal detector people. They've got the means to be there with the metal detector, so they've got at least that much going.
Probably
outside of that, you have no idea.
Probably a pretty tough community, like a real backstabby type community. Like,
I don't think they share their medals.
I think they'll kill you for a fine. You don't want to get involved.
I know that it's very like territorial. So the parks that I'll go to, like out here, where there's multiple people, like with the metal detectors, if like one guy will be in one spot, another guy will be like in another spot, and you can tell. You don't fuck with somebody else's territory where they're metal detecting at that time.
It's like going out and trying to, as a tourist, trying to ride like a local's waves. Like
exactly, it's a lot like surfing,
except with grifting. It's the grifters of surfing.
Right. You have to be careful though, because if like one story that this guy found this hoard, the Derry Naflin hoard. Him and this guy and his son were out in Tipperary, I guess. I don't know where the fuck that is, but it's in England somewhere or the UK somewhere. And they went on the property that they didn't have. It was I guess Ireland. They went on some property and they found this giant hoard. It ended up being worth like $15 million, but because
killed for it.
Well, they got it confiscated because they weren't allowed to be there. So, either you get permission or you just, a lot of
Europe's not the best place.
No, Europe is the best place because there's tons of other stories where like people are finding like chalices that are worth $400,000. They get to keep all the money because they auction them off.
So what do you have to do? Just lie about where you found it?
Yeah, you just have to get out of there.
You gotta just, anybody. Can't. Most of the time, you can't tell anyone you go.
Sounds
on
like the guys who found the Derry hoard are just trusting boobs.
Well, that's what I thought about your friends in Nevada. Well, where I was like, oh, it was just too hard to extract. It sounded like just a company that could extract it just bullied him out of it, and it's like.
Oh no! What happened with that?
Just someone with more means will take it from you. Like the government of England's like, this is illegal territory. We'll take it.
They can't. At least in Nevada, people who find it have minerals rights to the claim. So you can claim no matter if it's on your property or not. If you find the valuable minerals, you have the rights to it. So America is probably better legally to find something with a metal detector than England. It sounds like, but they found like a deposit that had a lot of metals in it. It had like some gold, uranium, silver, all kinds of stuff, but it was just too difficult for like normal people.
Will almost cut a hard factor trip short where we were doing live shows to go help this guy carry rocks of gold. He was like, I might have to get on a plane.
That's that's completely overblown, but he was like because I did go out there and help him.
He said the reason is because we're talking billions, and I'm going to get like 100 million, and then we're going to have a studio. And
you caught the fever. You got a little fever.
The numbers the guy was throwing around. For sure, I definitely didn't cut any trips short. Definitely did go out there.
No, you didn't. But you were like, I might have
out there to help him dig up rocks, and then also got them analyzed. Got them analyzed by like a mineral deposit.
It was almost a life-changing event, but turns out it was.
That's the dream, buddy.
Yeah,
you got to go give it a shot. I understand totally what Wes is talking about. These metal detectors.
Yeah. Yep. So anyway, definitely something I'll keep you guys posted because I'm gonna get into it with my son. There's a little nature preserve that we go like hiking.
Wouldn't Alaska be a good place to do this type of stuff?
Yeah. But that's like you buy like the Gold Rush or whatever the fuck the show is. People prospect.
Well, but Alaska's again like that's like more like we're talking like big. Large scale mining projects that you need like to get the gold in Alaska. You need like a huge rig that's gonna sift the dirt and shit. Like it's a.
I was at an airport
Wes is talking
in
like
think where was it? Was it San Francisco? It was on my honeymoon. I was going to Tahiti and I was like on the way back, I think, and we were like in the Northwest. It might have been like Washington or Oregon area. We're in an airport in the Northwest, and these guys were going to Alaska, and I was eavesdropping on them a little bit at the bar, and they were just professional like prospectors. They had they just went to Alaska to prospect, and
mining is still
living the dream.
Mining is still a huge industry worldwide. Yeah, but especially in the American.
No, these guys weren't like working for a company. They were like just individual prospectors that like
they like just go up there in the rivers and pan for gold.
Yeah, the two of them.
Wow,
didn't work for a mining company. They were like prospectors.
That's cool. They were just gold miners or gold panning.
They also looked incredibly malnourished and dirty.
Yeah, probably pretty poor.
Tough life.
If all you're doing is living gold nugget to gold nugget that you
didn't look like they left a huge tip when they left the bar.
No.
There's a fine line between hobby and degenerate when it comes to that kind of.
But that's the thing. One day, it's going to be that $2 billion find.
One day, potentially. These things. I'm gonna get one that's like $100, but you can get some of these metal detectors are like $2,000.
Plus, that's a pussy one,
Do you think you're going to be on a slippery slope where you keep upgrading, like because you're not happy with the results of the first one?
The slippery slope's gonna happen when I find a little something, Can
you please like video these?
Yeah,
can you please video this?
Yeah,
you got excited.
Your searches, please.
You got excited.
I'm getting excited just talking about it.
Remember when you thought you won like $10,000 in the scratch off, and you went and told the clerk, "I won," and then he was like, "No, you didn't." You're like, "No, check it again."
Yeah, that was sad.
That's the type of video I want to see when you're metal detecting. Just like you think you found something.
I'm gonna
I
order
think
one.
Wes should get into prospecting. I'm taking this note down as
yeah. Well, get him to come visit you and show him the ropes.
That's what I'm saying.
I love
feel
to go
like
prospecting with you.
I do feel like if you came out here, we could definitely line some stuff up with some guys who know their stuff, and then you could get an idea of how to actually do this. Because out here, out where there's like lots of metals in the ground, there's lots of people doing this shit. Like it is a hobby.
The majority of
common hobby.
The majority of people are doing it.
Yeah, extremely common hobby out west. Yeah.
We should all do it. It'd be a fun activity.
Hey, I'm down. Let's do it.
I'll probably rent mine. I'll let you go for the buy of the gear, and I'll just do the rental for the day. But I'm definitely game to do.
What about a metal detecting renting agent, like a business?
Oh, on the beach, that would be
If you were at the right
killer.
place, the beach, yeah.
Yeah, you take them on like a little tour, and you'd have to like rig it where like you find or you have someone find something semi valuable. You just put like a ring down somewhere, and you take them there, and you're like, look, oh, you beginner's luck, and then they're hooked.
Oh, I was actually at the beach one time, drunk and just being assholes with buddies, and there was a guy metal detecting, and we started throwing pennies like around him. So he started to find the pennies.
Yeah, drive that guy
You
nuts.
start finding them?
Yeah,
He started finding them. I think we were throwing dimes. Yeah, he started finding them. But then eventually he got too far away. We couldn't get to him anymore. But, yeah,
that's what you want to do is mess with the person in that state of mind. All right, guys. 33-year-old Lisa Landon of Littleton, New Hampshire, is a criminal. She's constantly breaking the law. She had 3 pending court cases this year for her arrest, which included drugs related stuff, and stalking. So she's like a utility criminal. She's
Drugs,
like a 5
drugs and stalking.
Yeah, whatever it is. She can do it all in the crime world. But
yeah, I mean that could be a wide range of things that she did.
Yeah, she's like a jack of all trades of crime. But it wasn't like she was committing murder, right? And she wasn't like remanded or on like an insurmountable bond that she couldn't.
Just stalking, not full murder.
Yeah, so like she could get out of these things in terms of making bond, and so she was staying at home, just like waiting on these 3 pending cases. But like any good criminal, she never gives up. Everyone knows when a criminal is cornered, a good criminal is not going to just like give up. They're going to try to crime their way out of it. And that's exactly what Lisa did. She posed as the prosecutor in charge of her cases online and filed the digital paperwork necessary to drop all of her cases.
Wow.
That's awesome.
How'd she get into the account of the prosecutor? That's impressive.
Yeah, so this is not the first time this has happened. We covered a story of a guy. Basically, you know the first and last name of the prosecutor. That's public information. And then you create an email account like .gov or whatever, and you can like get into the system, and you can like send emails and potentially like file paperwork. So they didn't get into the details of this one, but that was like how the last story worked. Like the guy like tracked down the arresting officer's information and like created email accounts.
But you would have to know their password, right? Or you can
create like a new account, I think. Like or
that guy was sending from it was just an email that looked official, and he's like, "Hey, we're just we're not gonna mess with this."
Or they
one.
can fish.
Yes, and they found that guy out because it was like slightly off. Instead of like .gov, it was like .net.
It was a lawyer's office, right?
Yeah. But they didn't get into the details. She's smart. She's canny. She figured out how to pretend to be the prosecutor, and she filed the paperwork online through the government, like through the court system.
Impressive.
And they canceled the cases. But here's how she got caught, which is usually the case. It was a nosy employee that was like overachieving at their job and was bored.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's how it always happens.
An auditor found it, basically?
Pretty much. In Lisa's case, it was the forensic examiner who was way too bored with his job. Basically, he was supposed to interview her, and he got a notification that her cases were dropped, so he didn't have to go interview her. And he was like, "Oh, come on! Now what am I gonna do?"
So he's bored.
So he's fucking bored. So most people, when they get notified that they don't have to do their job that day, they're like, "Woohoo!" This guy's like, "What?"
He followed up
and called the actual prosecuting people like on the phone, and he was like, "Are you like?" We're dropping Lisa's cases, and they're like, "No, she's a monster. We're gonna lock her up." What are you talking about? And they're like, "What are you talking about?" And then they looked into it and found out that Lisa just duped the shit out of all of them.
That's horrible.
Yeah, and when they took that closer look, they also realized, allegedly, not only did she drop all of her cases, but allegedly she falsified a judge's decision to waive her court filing fee in a lawsuit she filed against the county in the past. So she pretended to be the judge, and she's like,
"Nice.
Lisa doesn't need to pay any court fees."
Well,
she was in the system. Yeah,
she was on a roll. And then she also allegedly faked an order in a child custody case involving her child and a family member.
Whoa, now that's definitely getting.
So like,
crazy.
I guess she probably doesn't have custody, and like maybe grandma does, and she was trying to falsify that. She was falsifying everything.
Oh yeah, she was running wild.
Yeah, so she was just falsifying the shit out of everything, all COVID long. Like, you can't give Lisa that much time, or she's going to construct a dense web of fraud. She will. You got to take the internet and all writing utensils away from her going forward.
If somehow in America we could just like get these incredible fraudsters to just focus on legit business. Like that would be a good program.
Where's the fun in that?
People figuring out how, because there's all these smart fraudsters who are getting caught, like from the PPP programs and everything, and like all this shit. Like they should just switch them to like a good cause.
Doesn't pay nearly as well.
Everybody.
Doesn't pay nearly as well.
Yeah, it's true. They're smart. That's why they fraud people.
It's easy money.
Yeah, 10 times the money.
Yeah. So she got like an extra 6 charges. Obviously, she's in trouble.
Yeah. That's awesome though. Good for her.
She'll get out of it. She'll get she'll get out of it.
Kind of crazy she got caught. You'd think she'd get away with it.
She'll get out of it. She'll pretend to be like the prison guard and let herself out or something.
But they got eyes on her now. Now they're going to be checking her cases triple.
That's what she wants. She wants.
She got it right where she wants them.
She wants to put on a show.
This is step 2.
Yeah.
All right. So let's move on to one last news story for the day. If you listened to our commute podcast, you already knew that the USA is on another uptick with new COVID infections, record setting across the board. New cases, number of tests we're doing, the whole 9. Every single record, we're breaking it constantly.
So like Michael Phelps.
Yeah, exactly. Corona is like the Michael Phelps of diseases. It's got like all the gold medals and how fast it spreads and how many fucking lockdowns it creates. And looks like we'll be dealing with it for the long haul, just like Michael Phelps, a few Olympics worth. And so on that note, Europe is basically going back down into total lockdown mode, like at the beginning of Corona. You guys remember when Italy first had like the horrible virus. First started in China. China had the lockdown. Then Italy had it so bad. Then Italy had the lockdown. Then France and Spain and everybody else has the lockdown.
How depressing is that to go on a second lockdown?
Yeah. Well, the worst part is here in France. This is the biggest one. France announced it. It starts tomorrow on Friday, and it goes all the way at least through December 1st. And we're talking. So France's last lockdown was 8 weeks. So you could potentially have France locked down from Halloween through Christmas or New Year's and basically locked down for the entire holidays.
Europe's canceled for the holidays.
France is basically canceling the holidays, essentially. At least through December 1st, probably longer based on their last lockdown. Germany's doing something similar. Ireland is also...
no, Germany has the Christmas markets. Not this year.
Yeah,
Germany's super famous. Basically, starting on Oktoberfest, I think, which is like kind of like later October. Mm-hmm. Once that ends, it's like a week long. They go straight into the Christmas markets, which are like huge tourist attractions.
Those are going to get shut down.
There's no tourists.
At least through December 1st in France. I don't know how long in Germany. Ireland's doing something similar. But here's how strict the fucking rules are, at least in France. You are going to have a paper on you to prove that you can be outside your home, and the cops can stop you and demand the paper to prove that you should be outside your home.
That sounds a little...
Do you have your papers?
Yeah. Exactly. That's what it sounds like.
It's exactly what's happening for real in Europe from October 30th through December 1st, at least, which sounds like, could you imagine them trying to enforce something like that in America? I mean... People are already going crazy here. People would go absolutely apeshit crazy if they had to have a piece of paper that a cop could harass you for.
I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah, it's terrifying to think about if you tried to make Americans do this. Hopefully Europeans can handle it. I bet you they won't be able to.
They can't.
No human being can handle this.
Yeah, it's crazy. So anyhow, all of Europe basically going back down under the full-on lockdown. Early Corona style, like we had here back in February, March-ish.
So the problem with it is too, like the mental conundrum is like, all right, they went on lockdown in Europe, like you said, in the beginning stages of COVID, like February, March, whatever. They're going on it again, like 6-7 months later. What's to say that they won't go on it a third or fourth time? Like
that's the thing.
Their minds have got to be like, how do you process this?
It's true. And what are the prospects here? Is the election here going to be like, well, if it goes one way, we'll never lock down, but if it goes the other way, we're going to do this too? It's like
don't fear monger.
No. But what I'm saying is like you just said, how do you mentally deal with the fact can you even lock yourself down again when you know that the virus is going nowhere and you got to wait till the like vaccine anyways? So like, it's just how do you deal with it? Like, obviously in Europe, they're doing the full lockdown again. They think that's what it's going to do. Here, it doesn't seem like we're headed that direction right now.
That will not happen. Even if Biden, who is looking like will win, we're not going to go on like a full lockdown where you need papers. It's never going to.
Well, certainly you could never do that in America with the papers. The papers is insane. Right. But like, it's just, I don't know, the prospect of of additional lockdowns, like starting now at the holiday time, it's not, I don't think anybody wanted to hear that. Going
no,
that sucks for Europe.
Fauci's his latest is we're not going to be any semblance of normalcy till 2022. Like it's still pretty fucking bleak out there as far as normal.
It's just a downer. It was a fun show until now.
It was.
I know. I was gonna talk about how I didn't even really.
We gotta go too. We gotta go.
Yeah, we're coming up on the end. Got a couple minutes here, but yeah.
What's Australia doing that they've got this shit under control?
Well, they did hardcore lockdowns too. Basically, everybody who has the virus under extreme control does very extreme lockdowns.
Mm-hmm. Well, like outside of the cities in Australia too, isn't it just kind of like very spread out,
extremely sparse? Yes.
Yeah.
Which is also the thing about New Zealand. Everybody's like, New Zealand's perfect. Well, it's the size of a rural American state.
That's because the average neighbor's 17 kilometers away.
Right, and there's more sheep than people, and it's an island. So it's a little bit easier to control.
Yeah, the ocean breeze is coming and smashing COVID left and right. The wind.
A little bit easier to control than the 50 states full of all people who would fucking freak out if you asked them to have their papers on them.
That all own 3 cars and fly an average of 50 times a day.
Yeah, exactly. We got a different style over here in America than most other places. But yeah, anyhow, these lockdowns, I mean, for the holidays, stinks for Europe. Hopefully we don't have to, hopefully people can, I don't know what the fuck. I mean, COVID sucks. COVID just sucks. It's insane that you could be talking about whole continents locking down basically for the whole year holidays. It's terrible. COVID year is not good. So
no, I mean 2020 stinks.
About to have a big super
stinky
spreader event on November 3rd. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh, the voting? You think there's gonna be a huge spike? Like
it has to be, right? If what they say about this thing is true, there has to be a huge spike.
That would be so depressing.
You two are monsters. Ending the show on such a horrible note.
All right, everybody, have a fucking great day after that. I mean, just go forward, take that information.
Treat yourself. Get a milkshake today.
Turn your day around for yourself.
Get a chili dog and a milkshake.
Get a chili dog today.
Chili dog will definitely clear this all right up. And like we were talking about earlier, subscribe Hard Factor News on iTunes, Spotify, wherever podcasts are free. And The Dozen is up next.
Oh, yeah! Very good. Okay, very good.